but now we have to talk about conditions. If only I'd realised it could be made into a game show. But because of the Bryant deal, another similar local deal in places like Liverpool and Manchester, the leadership of the newly formed UCAS union simply couldn't accept another miserly offer from the employers, which is what they had done for years. They were forced into a corner. The strike was also brought about by the efforts of the rank and file organisation, the Building Workers' Charter, which was based around the national paper and local groups of activists. The charter influenced tens of thousands of building workers, and its demands were of £1 an hour and 35-hour week, and that almost became the national pay claim. Instead it was £30 a week and 35 hours, but it pushed the union that far into making what we saw as a realistic pay claim. The strike began as a selective strike. The idea was that 35 prestige sites of major companies would be called out in a rolling action. And for us in the rank and file, we saw that as a mere gesture and the path to defeat. We wanted an all-out national strike, and by adopting the miners' tactic of flying pickets, we eventually closed the vast majority of sites. We closed every site in Birmingham, large, medium, and small. The flying pickets were almost universally greeted with enthusiasm by workers. The sites we went to armed with megaphones, leaflets and union cards. We would go around in vans, get out the vans, get the megaphone out and say there's a national strike on, lads, come out and support us. And almost invariably they would come off the site. If they weren't in the union, we'd sign them up, we'd give them leaflets explaining what the strike was about. And by July, 300,000 of us were out, and we stayed out until September. The settlement in 1972 was forced upon us by the leadership without us having a chance to vote on it. We saw it as a sellout, but looking at today's situation, is anybody there fancy 25% pay rise? But we saw it as a total sellout. I have to say here, and I hope I don't upset anybody who was involved in the Building Workers' Charter or the CP at the time, but the failure to produce the charter during the strike or to hold charter group meetings meant that we were ordered back. When we were ordered back to work, there was no organisation to rally the rank and file and to resist the sellout. That is a lesson that we do have to learn. Rank and file pressure should not be turned on and off like a tap, but it should be constant where we can interfere. There was a backlash, and some of us had to pay. People were blacklisted. The Shrewsbury pickets, some of them were sent to jail. I myself and 4 other building workers were put on trial for conspiracy at Birmingham Crown Court. Fortunately, we were acquitted. Shrewsbury lads weren't so lucky, and 3 of them went to jail. There was blacklisting going on. I have just recently received 2 files from the Information Commissioner's Office on me. They kept me on a blacklist for 40 years. I haven't worked on a building site since the 70s. But somebody somewhere in a database with me on it. It includes not only documentary evidence that sites I was sacked off or refused work on were the result of these employers phoning up this blacklist, but it also includes things that must be surveillanced by security. Notes of me having attended and spoken at meetings, even somebody clocking me going to a meeting down the road from me in 1972. It's good to know though that they don't always get things right. And again, I hope I don't upset any CP members doing it here. But it's got involved and underlined on one of the files is active in the Communist Party. I had considered suing them for libel. Because I was a good trot and still. But I'd like to turn to what's going on today. In the public sector, where I now work as a teacher, and I'm just been elected a Deputy Divisional Secretary of the NUT, my local area, we face a pay freeze, a plunder of our pensions, an attack on working conditions and rights, privatisation, academies, and all that rubbish. We are on the defensive compared to 1972, where we were very much undefensive, and I do realise it's different times. But we are fighting back, people are fighting back. We've had public sector strikes over the pensions, and we're going to be having some more in the autumn. And other struggles like the Sparks struggle and other building workers' struggles, I'm glad to see now going on, and some of them being victorious. But some union leaders are not willing to fight, and we have to force them by rank and file pressure to fight. It is different times, and and there isn't the kind of mass militancy that we had then. So we've got to try and build that up and exert pressure to make sure that our union leaders do what they want and keep that pressure there. We also need to learn from the students and people like UK on Cut. Nothing can replace industrial action, in my opinion, as the main weapon that we have in bringing the bosses to heel. But imaginative tactics that are used by some of these organisations can also go alongside strikes and can be very effective in getting struggles into the minds of the public. And we were well known in Birmingham building workers for using these imaginative tactics. The ideas often came from Pete Carter himself, because he had a kind of flair for doing unusual things. The conspiracy trial I was involved in resulted from us occupying an office in the Rotunda, the SOS Bureau, who were supplying labour to building sites, and we went and occupied the office and went through their files and got evidence about this. We once occupied 3 tower cranes on the site, because men were either being victimised on the site, and we had 3 guys who stayed up there for a week, the whole week. One of them said he nearly went mad. And the best one of all was that, I don't know if any of you remember when they had the big statue of King Kong in the ballroom. We went down there one morning, there was going to be a builder's march coming past, and we occupied King Kong. We had 2 guys up on a ladder onto his shoulders. It was a great big 40-foot statue like that. And we made a great big hod and wrote on the side the bonus hod and stuck it in one hand, and a great big trowel and put the bonus trowel in and stuck it in the other hand, and we put a few lines on helmets that helmet on his head, and we hung a thing around his neck so even King Kong wouldn't work for the rest of the paint. And the police turned up and said, "Get those blokes down out of there." And we said, "Well, we can't afford to put up in the air." So everything up there, and I said, "There's a ladder there somewhere." And eventually they called the fire brigade and they got them down. But they managed to stay up there till the march came past. So those kind of imaginative tactics can be used and can get things into the minds of people and publicise disputes. I'd like to say that there's a class war going on now. And if people talk about class war, usually, they only talk about class war when they mean what the left is doing, what the unions are doing. Well, there is a class war that's been declared on us by the ruling class, by this government. And I hope this conference contributes to helping build the fight back against that, to fight back against the vile government, privatising the public school board, who have declared class war. There are good signs. People are fighting back now against blacklisting because this thing has been revealed now. The Sparks, again, building workers fighting back, the pension strikes. We need to unite those struggles together across the trade union movement against the government, and perhaps we could see again something like that glorious spring of 1972 once more. Thank you.